Welcome to Ninethy Gaming.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's video, Darktide. I mean, wow. Warhammer 40k Darktide is a Horde class based shooter that takes place in the grim dark
41st millennium.
And today, I'm gonna be brutally honest about it. Spoilers ahead. Warhammer 40k has been on my radar for a while, but I wanted to get it on console, so I just waited until it dropped. And oh boy, was this game worth the wait. Much like my Malgus song coming out on Friday. Darktide is almost everything I could ever want from a Horde game set in this universe, a universe I love. It's brutal, it's gory, its weapons have great feedback, giving me this feeling of meaty combat that's just really engaging and in keeping with the universe. The game takes place at Atoma, where a city has fallen to the chaotic whims of a chaos god Nurgle the Gurgle Master. You play as an escaped convict, caught up in the freeing of the game's antagonist, Wolf. His prison break allows you to slip away, but instead of running, you help Zola escape, and now you're working for the totally, absolutely good guys, the Inquisition. The game prides itself on its openness to make whatever character you like, which is a shame because it's well within reason, if not very limited. There are preset faces and the hair is somewhat lacking, so it's not as open as I'd like, but it's certainly serviceable. I wasn't sure what I was going to make until I heard the male Psyker voice that sounds like Richtofen, and I thought, yes! I based my entire character around this voice, and heck, does it give you a fair amount to choose from the planet you were born, to the reason you were caught in the single most important moment of your life. And thus, Elric Spoon was given life. Born on a religious shrine world, a Psyker cast out. He made his wealth selling Bored Ape NFTs to the highest bidder before hearing the voices and then getting caught. Determined not to die, Elric Spoon is ready to face the plagues of Nurgle just for a chance to sell some more cryptocurrency. And now he's a SoundCloud rapper, because that meme just came out of nowhere. I love that this game takes your character's story into consideration, because you get some really cool, unique and interesting exchanges between the rest of your squad. Elric Spoon is a rat, let's not think otherwise. He has a high opinion of himself, but the man is a rat, and it certainly does create some funny moments.
So we both hear the whims of the voices in our heads. Splendid! But they're not gods! I'd point out all the depraved and strange things they do as a sign of madness. But then I look at our own priests and... they... She explicated.
I heard another player with the same voice as Elric Spoon, and yet they had different personalities. This little detail is a nice touch in making the player feel a bit more unique in an otherwise grim setting. Joining Elric Spoon's crusade is a lovely assortment of fellows. Albert Dingleberry, the veteran. Smegma, my partner, the Psyker. And Incarnate, a zealot that doesn't shut the f*** up. Though I do wish this game would try a little bit harder to put randoms with different classes in your squad when you do matchmake. It isn't particularly fun when you're with 3 Psykers and a veteran and we're all running the exact same thing. Art style is in top form too. The art style is on top form too. The amount of times I'm either inspecting my weapons, the armor of my team, or my surroundings is insane. I mean, there is a lot of detail in this game. From the exposed rib cages that you blast open, to the plate armor shifting as separate pieces rather than being one block. I can tell the devs certainly put the time and effort into each corner of this game. Which is a shame when I say that, because at least on console, this bad boy runs at 30 frames per second, and trust me, you can feel it. Real shame, because if this game was more smooth, I'd be playing it a hell of a lot more. So I've really kind of just loved this game. I need to talk about the problems. So what problems other than frame rates are there, you might ask? Well, the game gives each class a bunch of in-game earnable cosmetics, either through the game's currency or by doing challenges in the form of penances, but these items, while they look good, are very, very limited. Almost every bit of unique gear in this game goes to the microtransaction store, which, if you know me, is a downside. It doesn't help that some of these microtransactions they're selling are just reskins of other microtransactions as well, and they still expect you to pay full price. I'm not a fan of microtransactions at all. No, this game does give out premium currency every now and then. It's not the best system, but it's certainly better than others. I'm looking at Overwatch, Halo, and Apex for that one. But for a game that has a core tenet of customization, putting a lot of new stuff in the microtransaction store, as opposed to a little bit of it every now in the game, is certainly a down point. Now the upside to it is this: the content added is free. They're adding new maps and new weapons and new systems occasionally, all for free every now and then. So it's a case of, would you rather the game keep growing organically, or do you just want to buy the DLC? Which leads me on to my next point. I don't like the mission layout. There's no real campaign or an actual story mode, and the story is held within the world and the game because it's basically a live service game. We have a solid base with a little bit added on recently, and some more to be added soon, but honestly, I just don't think I'm a fan of the format. The world is ever growing, sure, but I can only play the same espionage mission where Hadron, the screaming fucking constipated Hoover, is bellowing in my ear so many times. Which goes back to my point about DLC. Sure, you had to pay for new content, but there was so much more. Take Left 4 Dead for example, a sizable service campaign with just enough modifiers that it had good replay and great gameplay, and when the DLC came out you'd get fresh content, full-blown new campaigns. It was great. Me personally, I'd rather most cosmetics be in the game and then pay for the additional content. There's a lie stipulated and spread a lot recently, actually constantly, that DLC is inherently bad because it split the community. No one wanted to pay $10 for the new 6 hours of additional content, when the people saying this exact thing regularly drop $50 a week on the new armors that come to their favorite game. I feel like there's a lot of irony lost there. Truth is, DLC makes less money despite it being far more consumer friendly. That's the real reason. Either way, the lack of any real campaign means that you kind of just select a random mission on a difficulty and away you go. Now the game is fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it isn't, but I can only play the same few missions over and over and over before it starts to lose its edge. Luckily, Eric Spoon and the team I play with definitely helps, as well as the music. Holy heck, does the music slap in this game. I mean, who wouldn't want to fight a horde with this blasting in the background? Now another key issue a lot of people have is balancing. They recently nerfed a lot about the Psyker, and while they're still very playable, I am feeling it, as well as nerfing the vet. I went from feeling like Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy to whatever his name is in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 who can't use it. They nerfed these, I'm guessing, because they were just a bit too good at their respective role, which is ironic because the Ogryn is allowed to one-shot bosses while tanking hordes, because why not? Why not, right? The Ogryn's just allowed to be strong as shit. Obviously things differ the higher in difficulty you go, but I find their balancing, especially on weapons, a little perplexing. The crafting system also needs a rework. In its current state, you just have to keep pumping resources into a weapon that you like in the hopes to get a good roll, and if you don't get a good roll on that weapon, you grab the roll by earning it and then scrap the rest of the weapon. You lose all of those resources and then you start again. You can spend so many resources just to get 2 blessings that you can then put on another weapon, and then you have to get that weapon and pump all those resources again and then put more resources, putting those blessings onto the... It's so costly and not very efficient at all, and I think that's a big problem. But all in all, from design of drip to characters and creativity, I think this is a really fun horde game, with some weird systems and perplexing choices from the devs. When I'm playing with an Ogryn, I can't see anything, they just stand in the way and take all my shots, so it's weird that for some reason the devs love them that much. But other than that, the game is really fun, with a lot of potential and an insane soundtrack held back by technical issues and publisher greed, as well as confused devs. Either way, I'm giving Warhammer Darktide an 8 out of 10, with the Ninethy seal of approval. Go play this game. It has problems, but at its core, it's very fun. I'll see you next time. Ninethy out.